Spent the last 4 months nonstop in hospital. I had COVID-19 and COVID-19 in his lungs. Had some issues to begin with, and I started pulling out my IV, so they put me in a medical coma for 5 weeks. And then at the end of the 5 weeks, because I was on the incubator, I mean, they did a checking on me to do the incubator because I can't do it that long to the mouth. And then after that, I had to go to a trach rehab to take the trach out, which was 5 weeks long. And at the end of those 2.5 months or 3 months, and I had a wound that is big as your hand and as deep as your fist. And Hannah came over and talked to me and brought the doctors. And the doctor said, you guys got to clean this wound up and operate on it, which they did. And at that time, I was brought here.
I'm Jen. I'm one of the occupational therapy assistants. I've had the pleasure of working with Rick after he was evaluated by PT and OT. I was one of the first ones to see him for the OT staff. And in the beginning, we were doing co-treats because your limitations were so vast. I mean, when he talks about his wound, that wound was unreal. And credit to the nursing staff who healed that thing, because it was unbelievable how fast they did it. But some of our limitations in the beginning being the wound, being the fact that you've been in that induced coma for 5 weeks?
Yeah.
So he's been on his back all this time, not being able to tolerate sitting up, not being able to stand.
Lost 70 pounds.
Lost 70 pounds. That's a bad way to do it, huh? So yeah, just getting up to the edge of the bed in the beginning took 2 of us, took physical therapy and occupational therapy working together, and we would maybe sit up for seconds before he had to lie back down due to dizziness, just an overwhelming weakness. Couldn't hold himself up on the edge of the bed, and it was max assist times 2 for 2 people to help him with that, and it was only for seconds. He'd lie back down, but he'd lay down for a moment and then he'd get back up and do it again. So we've gone from heavy assistance required to I can go now in the morning and say, Rick, I'll be back in 5 minutes, get up, get dressed, get up for me. And I can come back and he's there and he's ready. Doesn't need any help at all. So the progress that you've made in the time that we've had you, it's
Pretty soon.
it's astounding, yes. Drop it down.
What's your record so far, Rick?
40.
40? Wow.
Have no time to turn. Just step up into it. So we just started with doing a lot of dynamic standing stuff to engage his trunk and get to where he could support himself. And then moved on to some other exercises as he could tolerate them to really get the legs engaged and get the muscles in the legs and hips engaged.
For all those people out there that think that COVID isn't real or COVID's no big deal, he's a great person to look at. And this is a guy who was knocked completely on his backside. He was in the hospital for almost 2 months. By the time he came to us, he couldn't do anything. I mean, he'd been in bed being treated for a near-death experience. And we've helped bring him back to a person who's walking out of here again. And that's just amazing. But it really shows just how horrible COVID-19 can be and how severe that virus can really attack some people. The other thing that's amazing about him is that because he spent so long in the hospital and spent so much time on his backside being treated for the respiratory failure and everything else, he developed a really severe wound And he was told when he came to us that it may never heal, and that or it may be months before that got better. And he really cooperated with our staff, and our nurses really worked very hard on him, trying to make sure we did all the appropriate treatments and things we could do, and healed this from what was a really ugly, large wound, healed that up completely. And it's a really success story to go to say both to great nursing care, but also to a patient who was really dedicated to getting better and doing what it took.
Hi Papa, we are so excited for you to come home in 2 days, and we hope to see you very soon.
Hi Papa, I'm glad you're coming home. I'm very proud of you for making it this far and coming home, so I'm very excited to see you again. I've missed you a lot. I just can't wait to see you again. Love you, see you soon.
The Diet Dr. Pepper, we're all gonna bring it to you when you're out. And that's pretty much it. I love you and I miss you.